Alright everybody, and what I'd like to do today is help get you to the point where you can start using other characters for your main character and also for your NPCs. So as you can see here, I've grabbed this little demon guy from the Rivals pack and I've got him set up as my side-scrolling character. So he should still interact with the world the exact same way as everything else does, and I want to show you how to get started on that. So first off, what we're going to want to do is we're going to need to bring in our Marvel Rivals, the Fantasy Rivals Polygon pack. You just need to unzip that and either migrate the whole package over, or you can drag the contents into this file here. Before we even get to that, one nice thing about Cinti assets is that most all of them use the same skeleton. So if we've already got the Polygon prototype package inside of your project, then we can just start building from there. So to start retargeting things, let's go ahead and take a look at a few things here. When you first start off, you're going to end up with maps, materials, meshes, and textures. These are some other things I've built just to kind of start working on these animations, and we're going to build those now too. That's actually not too difficult. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to go back out to the content folder here, and we're going to go to our characters. This is where most of our animations are currently, and we're going to go to the unarmed area. So first off, we're going to need to rebuild a lot of these things, but to kind of get us going, we're going to right click on the first animation we find. That's going to be an idle right here, and we also have a blend space. We're going to probably end up making our own. This blend space is very complex, and we won't necessarily need it for a side-scrolling game. It's being kind of hamstrung actually for this side-scrolling game. And then we'll have to work on our animation blueprint so we can have one that works with the skeleton for our character. So first off, we're going to go to the idle right here, and we're going to right click on that. We're going to go up to retarget animations, and if we haven't done this before, we're going to see just a blank slate here. We're going to see our source skeleton, which is our Quinn UE5 skeleton, and then we're going to also get our target skeleton right here. That's going to be our kind of robot-y polygon character. So what I want to do is grab one of those. I have those here. I want to find the dummy ones actually, because that's going to be my basic one. I'll do the female one too, since we're building this off of Quinn. If we auto-generate a retargeter right here, we just have that checked and it's automatically taking care of that for us. If we don't do that, you'll notice that our Cinti asset is actually in a T pose, whereas Quinn is in an A pose, and we'll have to go through and make a lot of changes on our own. In this case, I like to use the auto-retargeter, and we can even go and make a few changes to make everything work really well together. A couple things to take a look at. Right here we have a rifle setup, and we can already see that there are some small things we're going to need to change about our character. On Quinn, it looks like they actually are holding something, whereas our character looks like they're kind of pleading with someone. Thumbs look okay, but the index fingers and the palms are not quite matching up there. Let's take a look at a few other things. We can take a look at the just a lot of animations here really, and a lot of things we're not going to end up needing. Currently we don't shoot any pistols or rifles or anything like that, so we're not really going to need them, but it helps us check what we're going to be looking at as far as how the animations are translating over. This one's actually running backwards, so if we wanted to check that out, we can see that. Kind of difficult to check on the hands with that, and that's kind of more what I'm looking for. It seems to do the big gross body groups. The arms, the legs, torso, head seem to be in good shape. It's often the feet or the fingers that don't quite work out the way you want them to. So let's go ahead and put our idle back on. There we go, and that doesn't look too bad, but we're not getting a lot with the fingers there. But let's go ahead and we're going to retarget a few assets here. Probably one of the best things to do is get a blend space like this, and then let's export that, and then we could also export some other pieces that we're going to need that aren't going to necessarily be a part of this blend space. So this one is using idle, walk, and run. Actually, I think, like I say, if we look at this one, you're going to see it's a very complex one that uses all these different animations, so you can walk sideways and backwards, and our character really just doesn't do that, so I don't feel like we're necessarily going to need that. Let's just grab the animations that we'll definitely need. So in that case, what we're going to do is grab all the unarmed pieces, and we can just kind of move through here, and we'll want to get unarmed jog forward. That's a good one. I'm going to hold down Control to select the next few. So that CTR key down the bottom left corner of your keyboard, or in the bottom right in some cases too. You'll have in both spots. So we want to get the jog forward. We want to get the walk forward. Hold down Control and click on that one. Then we want to get the fall loop. We need that one because that tells us, or that shows that the character is falling through the air, kind of has them just going through a loop with that one. We want to get our idle. Also want to get our jump itself, the land, and I believe we have at least, here's the wall jump. We're going to need that one too. So we're going to export retarget assets. We're going to, if you're just doing animations by themselves, you can use this, but if we export this, this is also going to give us our auto retarget that we had previously, so we can come back and redo some of these animations or pick up new ones. So at this point, let's do export retarget assets. We're going to put this in our, we're going to end up using this with our Polygon Fantasy Rivals setup, so I'm going to probably put it in there. All right, going to go ahead and export. And we can see that that opened up in our content browser right here, and we're seeing our auto-generated Quinn and the dummy, as well as the retarget animation right here. All right, and then if we go back to it, it's still open. Now we can go ahead and get those animations. So we got those highlighted, and previously I had to do it where it actually got everything at once, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and export the animations now. And for these, I want to put on a little suffix so we know what we're looking for. These are Cinti based ones, so I'm going to put a prefix of Cinti on those. Going to put them in the same spot. Go ahead and export those. Okay, let it run through those. I have noticed, and I did have an issue with the skeleton getting some one of the bones off in the whole hierarchy of how they're set up, and that was in the original auto-generated one. So I was having some trouble with that one. I ended up having to re-import that mannequin again, and then I was able to take care of that issue. But for what we're doing right now, as long as everything runs and it was able to translate all these animations over, you're in good shape. You don't have anything to worry about. Okay, so one thing we're going to need to do is, as soon as we have this set up, we could probably close this now. We'll be in good shape to just let that close, and we're just going to be working in this space right now. If you want to take a look at any of these, we can open these up. We have walk forward right here, so if we double click on that, it'll open up this animation menu right here so we can see how they look. And they're not bad overall. Everything looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and hit the skeleton here, get past my version control, and we can see all the skeleton pieces right here. We can even follow some of them if you want to. You can see how they're working. Later on, if you decide that you're going to be doing any kind of animation, like you want to go in and mess with the control rig or anything, that's going to be helpful for this kind of stuff right here, being able to get into these different pieces. Okay, so now we've made all these animations. We effectively can use these in different ways. So we're going to need to probably check a couple things on that skeleton so we can make sure everything's looking pretty good. Let's see here. Yeah, we're doing good on time. Let me see. On the content browser right here, we have a couple things we're going to need to add in. We need a animation blueprint, and we're also going to need a blend space so that our character can move between walking into jogging, and those animations blend between each other. So let's see. We're also going to need an animation blueprint. So the one that we use right now for our variant side scroller is in the variant side scroller folder, and I'm going to go into the anims. And this is the animation blueprint that we're currently using. What this does is it tells the animations which ones to fire, how to play them. Let's go ahead and just take a look at this one so you can kind of see what they look like. And it does have some animation or blueprint graph look to it. This one has a control rig, so it can do some procedural stuff. We're actually probably not going to need that. So let's take a look at how we can change some of these pieces over. If you go into the animation graph or any of these other pieces here at the top, we're going to probably be changing some of these for our NPCs and possibly adding in some other animations for our characters so they can interact with the environment a little bit more. So this is going to be a space we come back to, and we'll be building off of this and modifying over time. Right now we have a few different things we're going to need to change. Here's the blend space that we're going to change here in just a little bit, and let's just make a copy of this. So I'm going to go into our blend space. Let me see here. We're going to make one, actually. Sorry. Yeah, we're going to go into our content. And where is our, there we go. I'm just going to right click in the same space, and we're going to make a blend space. Okay, here with animation, here's blend space. Okay, and it wants to know which of these skeletons we're going to use. I was using the dummy female skeleton, so there's a new blend space. We're going to start it off with BS for blend space, and then we're going to just give it a name. It's easy for us to keep up with. So Cinti, and then this is going to be for the, I'm going to do a dash walk. Oh no, it's idle walk run. Okay, so we know what's being handled inside of this blend space. Okay, go ahead and double click on that. And to make this blend space, the way this works is this little space right here is going to manage all the different pieces that you're going to be putting together. So right over here, we're going to put an idle. We're going to drag in one of our idols. Let's see here. So this one is a Cinti one. Let's see. Do we have some doubles here? All jumped forward, backward. Okay, we're just looking for our idle first. I'm going to drag this in and put it right there. And we can see him idling already. Or I guess this is a lady person here. So I don't know. It's Cinti Quinn. There we go. That'll work. And we're going to, here's our blend space already showing up in the animations. We're going to need to find our walk next. So let's see here. If I just type in walk, we should get all the ones that are showing. Unarmed Cinti, here we go. Walk forward, we're going to get that one. We're going to put it right in the middle. Okay, so right now we're only going up to about 100. I'll show you what these mean here in just a second. And then in the end, we're going to want to get, I think instead of run, they're called jog. So let's see here. There we go. Unarmed jog forward. There we go. Let's go ahead and drag these in. I do show that there's another one down here, and I think that might be another set that I'd used previously. So if you don't see doubles, that's not a big deal. I think these are just the ones that I hadn't saved yet. So I'm going to go ahead and save everything real quick. And yep, that's just the ones that I made most recently. All right. So a couple things to look at here. If you hold down Control, you'll see that this little X kind of moves around, and as I drag it with the mouse back this way, we get to an idle. We're moving at 0 speed, and then I need to kind of put it right on top of that, and we just go to our idle. As we slowly move it forward, they start shuffling a little bit as we're getting closer to our walk speed, and then as we move up to our running speed, we're going to get even higher on that velocity. We're going to use this axis down here at the bottom to tell us where we're at and how fast we're going. We're going to go over to our assets, and we're going to change a few things because our maximum speed is not 100. We're going to look on our horizontal axis right here. The name of this, I'm just going to call it velocity, because that is really how fast we're going is what we're going to show, and it changed right here. Minimum axis is going to be 0 on that, and we're going to set this one to about 500. Okay, so now we're going to have to redo these. Okay, set that for 500. Walk is going to be at about 250. Okay. Grid divisions aren't very important. You can change that if you want to. I just leave it alone because it works with what we're trying to do right now. As you need to have more grids later on for more actions in a blend space, then of course you want to add more into the horizontal and the vertical axis. Currently our vertical axis isn't doing anything, so we could probably just change that to 1 and it wouldn't be a big deal. Okay. All right. So a couple things that we want to take a look at here is looks like everything's working as far as it blending between these animations as you move through the different speeds. Okay, and then we want to go ahead and close this up. Horizontal axis function, we don't really necessarily need to set that right now. We could probably set it for locomotion or velocity. It's not anything we're going to be messing with at this point. So if you get down into this area and it's opened up, you can probably just leave it as is. Let's go back into after you save this, and we're going to find an let's see, here's our side-scrolling animation blueprint. This is what we're going to make a copy of here pretty quick, and we're going to change this one out so we can use our skeleton with this one. Let's go ahead and take a look at how we can do that. So we're at about 16. I'll tell you what, we're going to stop it right there. We've got our blend space made. We're going to be substituting some things in our animation blueprint, and you guys can take this as a second part to getting our character set up to be used in our game.